Many people wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size.
Yo digo, está al alcance de mis brazos, la amplitud de mis caderas, el paso de mi paso, la curvatura de mis labios. Yo soy una mujer, fenomenalmente. Mujer fenomenal, esa soy yo.
Ich gehe in einen Raum, genauso cool wie du willst, und zu einem Mann. Die Burschen stehen oder auf die Knie fallen. Dann schwärmen sie um mich herum, wie ein Bienenstock von Honigbienen. Ich sage.
私は言う。それは私の目の日です。そして私の歯の先行、腰の振り、そして私の足の喜び。私は女性だ。驚異的に。驚異的な女性。それは私です。
Les hommes eux-mêmes se sont demandé ce qu'ils voient en moi. Ils essaient tellement, mais ils ne peuvent pas toucher mon mystère intérieur. Quand j'essaye de leur montrer, ils disent qu'ils ne peuvent toujours pas voir. Je dis.
나는 말하지. 이것이 내 등의 곡선이고 내 미소의 태양이고 내 가슴의 여정이고 내 방식의 품이야. 나는 여성이거든. 경이롭게도 경이로운 여성. 그게 나야.
إن تفهم لنا فقط لماذا لم ينحني رأسي. أنا لا أصرخ أو أقفز أو تضطر إلى التحدث بصوت عال حقيقي. عندما تراني أمر يجب أن تجعلك فخوراً أنا أقول.
I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care. 'Cause I'm a woman. Phenomenally. Phenomenal woman. That's me.
Unapologetically Me, Myself, and I showcases women in all of their complexity and love. To exist as a woman is to exist in opposition to the patriarchy and all that it demands. And this segment aims at celebrating the ways in which women have carved out their own spaces and discovered love for themselves within a patriarchal society. It is a moment for women to speak on self-love and the practice of finding peace within oneself and receiving love from others. As Maya Angelou beautifully depicted, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I am a woman, phenomenally phenomenal woman, that's me.
All the girls are sexy when I play that dirty music.
What is self-love to you?
I got Mac Miller's Selfcare song playing in my head right now. Self-love is just, I think, is coming to terms with your flaws, your insecurities, your whatever you feel like you need. I think that if you use that as a reflection and like work on yourself within that, I feel like you'll come to an understanding of what you gotta take care of within yourself and like, you know, just loving yourself, taking care of yourself. Whatever you feel like somebody gotta do for you, like do that for yourself, like understand that.
Self-love is about acknowledging all parts of yourself and also being okay with acknowledging like the nastier parts of yourself.
Self-love is basically accepting yourself for all the flaws and all the mistakes that you made, because a lot of people think self-love is physical with beauty, but I feel like self-love is also mental and physical. Just be a better person that you were yesterday.
Self-love is holding myself to a high expectation and meeting those expectations no matter what, and not letting anything or anyone get in the way of that.
If you can do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, that's self-love to me. Because I feel like a lot of people don't do the things that make them happy. And if you're not making yourself happy, what's the point?
Self-love is basically just no matter what you do, owning it, and then truly just feeling a love for yourself where you know that you'll never you never want yourself to go through harm, and you focus on yourself and how your mental health is and make sure that you're okay before trying to do other things.
So self-love to me is taking care of myself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Like, you know, being able to put on a face mask and mellow down in a bath at the end of the day, because that makes me feel good. Like, that's something I love.
You know, enough to take care of yourself to the extent that you're like, you know, tomorrow I want to wake up and like prep me, take care of me, you know, like that.
Self-love to me is taking care of yourself, literally. Down from your mental, your emotions, aligning yourself, and like really, really flourishing.
Self-love to me is taking care of me. It sits with me and being able to recognize how I'm feeling, walking myself through those emotions, those ebbs and flows and how they come into play in my life. But also for me, it's about, I don't know, taking myself out on a date. Going out and just being my own best company and being the own love of my life.
I think loving your highs and your lows is all balanced. Like, you can't only acknowledge your good parts while ignoring your bad parts. That's not healthy. Just like you can't dwell on your bad parts without ignoring your good parts. Like, you need to... Self-love is about acknowledging all parts of yourself and also being okay with acknowledging like the nastier parts of yourself, because...
How important is self-care?
1,000%, like more than 1,000%. And I'm saying this from personal experience. I got so sick this last year, technically last year. I got so sick that my body shut down. I was in the hospital, like my body was rejecting myself pretty much. And it was all from stress, all from like lack of sleep, all from like, and when I tell you I stress, I stress about everything. Stress, lack of sleep, lack of taking care of myself, like, just gotta take care of yourself.
100%. You cannot fill anyone else's cup if yours is empty. Like, literally, I used to like pull up 2 glasses. What can I do with this empty glass for your glass? Nothing. Like, I can do nothing for you if mine is empty. So I have to make sure that I take care of myself to take care of you.
I know everything about self-care. I love self-care. I think it's honestly just stemming from, you know, kind of treating yourself in a sense. Like, my form of self-care might be different from the other person's, but my form of self-care would be like running a bath, maybe like shopping, treating myself to this one thing, or taking like a class, or, you know, the gym. Like, that's, I feel like anything that you could really, like, you feel empowered. Or,
you know, self-care is so important. Like, you don't have to just pick a day to be like, oh, this is a self-care love day. No, you need to love yourself every day. Like, make your skin is soft every day, you know. Love yourself every day. Like, kiss yourself every day.
Super important. I love my hair products and I love my skincare, but I also like love my books and my runs, and like all that self-care is contributes to me feeling more, you know, more at home with myself.
You know, if you're proud of yourself and you did something good, like, yeah, you could treat yourself once in a while, like, and then that also encourages you to self-love too. So
self-care is super important. Like, cleanliness is next to godliness. And when I mean cleanliness, I mean in the sense of like in your energy, like you know, how you take care of yourself and how you carry yourself. I feel like it should all be godly like.
Self-care is not always, I'm meditating, the candlelight in my bedroom, positive thoughts only, spending money on crab legs. Like, that's not always self-care. Sometimes it is literally bawling your eyes out when you like are recognizing something that is in your life and overcoming that through that mourning period. That is, self-care is not always pretty. I really wish that we would get on that.
You are your main priority. You can't help anyone else if you don't take care of yourself.
Why is body hair on a woman such a controversy?
Porn. It's really because of porn. Porn, all of a sudden you have women completely like bald everywhere, and at the end of the day it lies in the male gaze.
Ooh, it's because of porn. No, really, like there was a point in like the porn industry where it's like, okay, you want to see everything, so you would like wax everything. A lot of people people watch porn, so it's like when you're, and we learn, not we, but I would say in the United States, like a lot of people learn, like they get their sexual education from porn, which is like not healthy because it's not real. So when they're like, when people are growing up and seeing these images, they're like, I'm not supposed to, if I am to be desirable, I have to be hairless. Like, do you see the connection?
I don't know why it would be, because, you know, women, why can't women have hair when men have hair? Like, I mean, you know, and like arms and, you know, legs. And I mean, I have hair personally. Like, I used to shave all the time, but at one point I was like, you know what? It doesn't really feel right.
Because men want women to look like 12-year-old girls. That's why.
It's so weird because, like, I've just never had a serious conversation with somebody about, like, body hair on a man. Like, I can never think about that. And the amount of times I've had conversation about hair in a woman's freaking private part with, like, people who don't have a woman's private part is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I know guys, like, they deal with their own insecurities about their body hair, their weight and stuff, but I think it's interesting that, like, we capitalize off of the insecurity of women for not looking a certain way to be perceived as desirable. I'm probably gonna like Google this when I go home because I'm just very curious about this now.
I would love to like learn the history of like when it became normal for a woman to have to shave everything like below her eyebrows. I like don't I don't know when that happened, but I would love to hear who came up with that idea, and I would bet 99% that it's probably a man, you know?
It used to be looked at as normal, but back in the day, there was actually a shaving company that was supposed to be for men, but it wasn't selling that great. So they thought about like, hey, maybe if we market it to women, then we can make more money. And that's literally what happened. Like, they were just like, hey, women, maybe you should start shaving. And then once they did that, they started making a whole bunch of money from women getting razors and stuff like that.
And it's definitely a profitable narrative, because we created so many products that help women to be hairless, to be smooth, we have so many feminine products. But it's funny because if hair is such a dirty thing on a woman, why do men never question why it's dirty on them? What is so different about your body? What is so different about your chemical makeup that makes it so sanitary on you but unsanitary on a woman?
Women always gotta shave, the nair, all that stuff. I feel like they put that as an expectation for women.
It shouldn't be gross or ill. It's on a woman. Women should be hairless. Like, that's a fallacy. We wouldn't have hair all over our bodies if they weren't supposed to be there, which they have their reasons. But definitely is rooted in that, again, the misogyny and the sexism of the porn industry and the wide distribution of it.
So if women don't want to shave, they don't have to shave. If women don't want to feel like a newborn baby all the time, they don't have to do that. It's their body and it's their choice. And I feel like men, as long as you're enjoying yourself, you shouldn't even be worried about if a woman's shaved or not. So, yeah.
What's phenomenal about being a woman?
Everything. Are you kidding me? No blame.
I mean, what's not phenomenal about being a woman? Come on, do you see this face? No, but on a serious note, I think like when I think of the woman that I look up to, whether it's in media or in my interpersonal life, they are doing something that I wish I could do, and that's so inspirational. Like that example is very phenomenal for me. Like, for example, My mom, who I adore very much, despite the things that we go through, I adore her. And she put me on to Grace Jones, who I adore. Like, they both, like, I don't want to paint them as superhuman because they're not superhuman, they are human. They have their good, their bad, their faults, their highs, their lows, etc. But they both represent something that I want for myself.
Everything, like what? Like, I feel like we are very much able to do whatever we want and how we want, because that's just really in our nature to do everything. Like, what?
As a woman, yeah, as long as you're doing all that on your own, you don't have to do it on your own, but as long as you're always moving through and thriving for better, like, you're always gonna look as a powerful woman. Sometimes intimidating, and like, you know, people feel a way about a woman who's independent, but yo, stagnant is death, and I feel like women are so anti that at all times.
Then because there is this ignorance of how capable women are, we have more freedom in being fluid, of being able to explore spirituality further, being able to expand and really look into our identities in a way that is very unique. And it's mainly because we're seen as less than, and it allows us to be more creative. So it's really dope being a woman.
But I feel like being a woman, it's great. I feel like every aspect of us is beautiful. The fact that we're able to change, you know, who we are, you know, and give birth, that's my really big, I'm very big on that. The fact that a mother could give birth to a child is very, you know, phenomenal, I would say.
I'm going to go ahead and say, even though I'm not one, becoming a mother. Once you become a mother, I always say that mothers, they get superpowers, and they literally do. Like, when you become a mother, there are chemicals in your brain that you don't get that if you're not a mother, and instincts are like on 1,000. Moms are always so on point, they know everything, they're so attentive.
I think every woman is very, 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 very unique in so many different ways, and I think that's phenomenal about women.
I can't explain it, we're just phenomenal. We're intelligent, we know how to adapt to certain situations, we know how to adapt to environments, we know how to, we can care, we can figure it out, problem solvers, we know how to protect. Like, there's so many things on the list. It'd be a whole book, it'd be like the woman's Bible.
Just to unapologetically, like, be yourself in a sense. I feel like it's the most beautiful thing that a woman can do for herself.
It is so lit being a woman. Personally, I enjoy my curves so much. I enjoy my sensuality. I enjoy my voice. I enjoy meeting other women that look like me. I enjoy orgasming. I enjoy a lot about being a woman. It's like my body is so divine in the sense that it does so many things that I didn't realize it could do that other bodies can't do. So it's lit over here.
I definitely think being a woman is phenomenal, but at the same time, I just think being a human is phenomenal, because the things our bodies can do, the things our minds can do, the way we are able to love unconditionally, the way we're able to just be there for people and just show support, I think that's a beautiful thing. So it's just hard, I don't know, it's just hard to answer that question, because like, I'm just a lover of people. So, you know, I don't only want to just spend every moment saying like, oh, I love being a woman, because sometimes I don't. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I don't.
If you were speaking directly to an audience of men, what would you want them to gain from hearing your experience?
Like, because we live in the world that we live in today, where we still have to challenge certain ideas, we should be stepping up to the plate to advocate for people who do not have a voice as loud as other people. So Black women, trans women, young girls, stuff like that.
To ask about how to raise a woman only works if we like also turn the lens on like, okay, well, if we are teaching our daughters to be strong, intelligent, but also like safe, we also need to teach our boys that like what they understand about their gender is also boxing them in. And it is allowing them to perpetrate like actual, or not perpetrate, but like perpetuate harm.
Respect women, because there's no respect or I feel like there's a lot of lack of respect that's out right now. Instead of keeping things at a double standard, maybe things should be understood, so it's at a balance.
I would say to always extend grace and always to extend a helping hand and to stay curious about women, because if you think you know us, you don't. So it's always good to ask questions rather than assume.
I hope that they would leave with a different perspective on women and how they should treat them.
Honestly, just be mindful, be respectful, you know, try to put yourself in our shoes on things that we go through at the end of the day.
Choices are how we make decisions in this life, and when we can actively make them, we can actively be accountable for them. So just take 2 seconds and reflect.
I would want them to know that patience is a virtue.
I would just want them to treat women with more respect. Even if there's like men that say like, oh, I respect women, you know, I make sure I don't become a creep or anything like that. But I really want men to like respect women and their boundaries. I really want men to like make an active gesture to letting a woman know like, hey, if I'm making you uncomfortable, say that.
Don't be rude. Don't be nasty when you're catcalling. If a girl don't want to holler, she don't want to holler, right? Have patience, like my sister said. And it's okay, you know, to cry. It's okay, bro. You'll be alright.
It's okay to be vulnerable sometimes. You can put that wall down. It's very much human to do so. It will make your life a little bit easier.
That it's okay to relate to a woman. Relating to a woman and understanding her and agreeing with her doesn't make you any less of a man. It actually doesn't change you at all. And you should see it, if it does impact you, you should see it as a positive thing, because there's nothing bad you can ever get from being able to relate or compare to a woman.
Think twice before they use their ego on a woman negatively.
Honestly, just to even listen to what a woman has to say is, you know, just for the longest, I feel like women have felt like they've been shut down for the longest. To just even be able to like have a platform to be heard is just, it means a lot. Now if only they can follow through and take no.
Learn how to care, learn how to be a gentleman, understand what an independent woman is, and don't get it mistaken for an independent woman that doesn't need your help, for an independent woman who's independent but still needs your help. There's two differences from that.
I feel like men should educate themselves a little more, and so as women as well. But
shout out to Mo for creating this open space. So as a male energy, the fact that he's answering these questions, I feel comfortable around his space to even, you know, talk the way I'm talking or say the things I'm saying. Like, this is a masculine energy that's provided the safe space for me to have this conversation as a female, and I think that that's something that a lot of guys should kind of like, yo, this is fire. Like, engage with the female energy more. That's just engage with it on a non-sexual way.
We have to realize that being a woman or being a man, ultimately that's just a label, and we're all experiencing a human experience. And it goes back to my point of we're more alike than we are different. And in hopes of, if there is a full male audience, I hope that those are their takeaways.
And also questioning how you uphold the systems that oppress women and also oppress men. I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I really want men to take away, is that patriarchy and misogyny and sexism, all of these things negatively affect men just as much as they affect women. It may not seem that way. It seems like misogyny only benefits men, but it's like, think about all the times you've had to suppress your emotions. Think about the ideas of masculinity that you're constantly inundated with. Like, it's, you know, like, I think as soon as men realize that that sucks for them as well is when we'll really, really start to see change.
If you're a girl, you have to behave in a way that is not militant. or political, especially if you're an actress. How dare an actress think or be political? That, of course, is a completely wrong way of thinking.
What do you think of the Women Liberation Front?
I think it is one of the most revolutionary movements in America. I think it's extremely important, and I am fully in support.
And we all just want a chance. A chance at life, a chance at an education, a chance at a future, really.
For the record, feminism, by definition, is the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. It is the theory of the political, economic, and social equality of the sexes.
All the girls are sexy when